Hey everyone, Catholic Builds here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at set number 75280 501st Legion Clone Troopers. This set has 285 pieces and retails for $30 US and $40 Canadian. But this set goes for a different name in the LEGO community, and that is the 501st Battle Pack, because that's what MNR chose to name it, sort of when he started this campaign for this set, because this set would not be here today if it were not for MNR Productions or Ryan. So big shout out to him, big thank you, because this set is, I can just say right off the bat, this set is fantastic, and it would not be here without him because he started the whole campaign, the We Want a 501st Battle Pack campaign, and I do disagree with some of the methods that people used to get this set to be here. I don't agree with necessarily everything. I made a video talking about that with all the drama and everything, but this is just going to be the review. I'm not going to go on about that for too long, but yeah, let's just take a look at the box first. We have the artwork for the set on the front here, the figures along the bottom, information on the left there, and on the top right there is the 332nd Trooper for the character that LEGO was putting on the Star Wars boxes, whether it be Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, and this time it's a 332nd Trooper, so I really like that. On the side here, the minifig scale 501st Jet Trooper, and around the back we have some more artwork for the sets. So artwork, just images of the sets, but some features there. You can play this in the Skywalker Saga, which is coming spring 2021, and there are punch tabs to get this box open because this box is very, very small. To give you an idea of how small this box is, this is the AAT box. That's such a big difference. And then we turn them on the side there. You can see that there's differences in every angle and shape there. And this is only $10 more than this. So I find that a bit crazy that this is so small. But then again, this does have some smaller pieces. The set is bigger and it's more expensive, but just not by much. So I just find it kind of interesting that this is so small. The box may be small, but the manual is even smaller. This thing is very, very thin because there are only 2 bags in this set, and they're pretty small pieces too. So the box is small, and then the manual is small, and it's pretty basic with the instructions here. And then in the back, we do have some advertisements. We have an advertisement for the Skywalker Saga, although it says 2020, but it's now being delayed to 2021, sadly. And then we have the figures here on this page for the summer 2020 sets. Summer 2020 sets here, and the January 2020 sets here, so that's interesting that they're actually showing even more sets there. And then finally the piece count here, so you can see that there's not too many pieces in this set. Starting off with the minifigures here, we have 2 identical 501st Clone Troopers, and I gotta say, these things look very nice. They each have a black, medium-sized blaster as well that they each hold onto, and I'm actually gonna take those off, just so you can get a more clear look at the figures there. And there's a lot of controversy between about these figures because they have white arms and white hip pieces, because the previous 501st Trooper had blue arms and black hips. But this is much more accurate if you were to pull up a picture of the 501st Trooper. Their arms are more white than blue, although it would be nice to get dual molded arms or even just some printing on their arms there. And then I think the white hip pieces work really well. I don't think they need to be black or anything like that. Their legs are very well detailed, and I love the toe printing there. Those look fantastic. And then their torso printing is a newer clone style of printing design. So that's really cool. I really like that. And then around the back, there's also some more printing on their torsos. That looks nice as well. Their helmets are a newer sort of design for the eyes and everything, and they have some gray shading on the sides there, the cheeks, and I think that looks really good. And I really like the new design of their eyes and mouths. I think that looks much more accurate to the Clone Wars. However, it strays a little bit further away from the movie Revenge of the Sith, just a little bit compared to the previous version. And then when they take their helmets off, they have the new Clone Trooper face. Goodbye, angry clone face. Yay! These look much more accurate to Tamora Morrison and the clones from the movie and from the Clone Wars TV series. No printing on the backs, that's totally fine because usually they're bald or have short hair, so it's fine if you just wanted them to be bald and you wouldn't have a face sticking in the back, so they wouldn't look like Professor Quirrell or something from Harry Potter. Yeah, these figures are really nice, and I really like the detail on them. Looking at the two other main minifigures here, we have yet another 501st Trooper on the left there. That's identical to the other two I showed, except he has a different blaster. And on the right is the 501st Airborne Clone Trooper, and that's the main thing I'm going to be looking at. I'm not going to look at this again, although it does have the exact same face as the others. However, he does have a different blaster here, and I really like the look of this blaster because it's using the persistent candle piece in black there, attached to a longer rifle piece there. So that looks really nice, and I really like the look of that. And then with the 501st Jet Trooper, he has just one of the medium blasters there. Although you could give him the longer blaster that the other trooper was holding if you wanted to. Just taking a look at him though, he has blue arms, which is different than the other figures. The other figures have white arms. So that's neat. It kind of shows you how that looks, although the 501st Airborne Trooper does have more blue on his arms in the shows and in Battlefront 2 and everything than the 501st Troopers. And then he also has a jetpack in blue. That's a very, very nice piece there. His torso printing is different as well. It has some blue accents on the top there, and that looks really, really cool. And I really like his helmet too, with all that different printing on there, especially the little red arrow there. Reminds me of Fives from the Clone Wars. And then just taking off his helmet there is the exact same head as the other figures. However, I'm going to take off his head too, because I want to take off the backpack here, or the, not the backpack, the jetpack, and show you the back of his torso there, because it also has some blue printing, which is really nice. And just, it's really nice that they went back here and did some more detailing and then leave it like this one here, even though you have the jetpack on the trooper for most of the time. And here we have the two less exciting figures. Well, I consider them minifigures, but they are characters. The two battle droids here, and these are just the standard battle droids that you always see in LEGO sets. They've never really changed at all. I'm just going to take off their blasters. They each have black regular medium blasters there, just like the first troopers had. And yeah, there's not too much going on for them. They're pretty basic, nothing new or anything, but yet nonetheless they are still fantastic. The reason they haven't undergone any major changes is because they don't need any. They're just perfect pretty much. Now starting to take a look at the actual builds for this set here. First we have the BARC Speeder, and I really, really like this thing. It looks pretty good. It's pretty long. Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera there. It's pretty long. It's much longer than I expected. In real life here, it looks smaller on camera, but it's really big. But it's very skinny. It's very narrow. It's only 2 studs wide for the most part. And it doesn't really get any wider except for parts like this. On the front here, just right off the bat, this is a new piece here for 2020. I'm just going to take it off and show you. It's 2 of those sort of curved, sloped pieces there that stick in like that, except they're stuck together now. They're just one piece now. That used to be, you have to have 2 pieces that connect there, but now it's one, so that's pretty useful. And there are a lot of stickers on this BARC Speeder. There's a lot of stickers in this set, actually. One sticker is going here. It's just going to be a blue sticker, and then there's a sticker here, here, and here. So that's 4 stickers for this thing, which is a lot, but it's not too bad. The stickers are pretty easy to apply and everything. And something I don't like about this thing is the stud shooters on the front here. These stud shooters do fire off just by pushing on like that. It's pretty easy to shoot them off. I'm just going to take them off for now, so it's not in the way and I don't accidentally shoot them off, because I do not like stud shooters too much, just because I tend to lose the studs. But I understand the play value in there for kids, so that's really nice. I also like the sort of hollow empty area down there for the BARC Speeder underneath, and I really like that. It's a bit of accuracy there. And around the back here, you have these 2 sort of blasters here that are clipped on. You can actually take these off and give them to a minifigure, a 501st Trooper. However, they are supposed to be a part of the vehicle, the vehicle's blasters. At least I'm pretty sure that the vehicle's blaster. I've taken a look at an image. I do see 2 black blasters on top of there. Something that you can do is you can take one of your 501st Troopers and you can sit him down in the BARC Speeder pretty easily, just on a little seat there. He's only attached by 2 studs, so it's not too difficult to take him off afterwards, but you can grasp onto the handles here fairly easily. It's taking a little bit of time. There we go. So now he's riding on the BARC Speeder, and that's really nice. And I really like BARC Speeders in universe, so it's nice to get a new one for 2020 here. And yeah, still not too much going on. It's all pretty basic designs here. I think that they did capture the BARC Speeder somewhat well. However, something about the speeder is that it's too big. I mean, proportions and everything, it's pretty fine. It could have been a little bit shorter in the front here to be in proper proportions to everything in the back here, and it could have been a little bit wider. or thinner in here. However, it's just too big. And that's because in universe, this thing is supposed to be pretty small. It's not supposed to be like a long speeder or anything. It's supposed to be pretty small. He's just supposed to sit on there, his legs hang over the sides and everything. But it's just scaled up a bit way too much. The other build for this set is an RTA Walker. And this thing, just right off the bat, this thing looks nice. It looks really clean. It's well fleshed out, and the colors look good. The color scheme's working and everything. But just like the Bug Speeder, this thing's too big. But this thing's worse than the Bug Speeder in the way that this thing is monstrous when you scale it to minifig scale. Like, I'm just going to bring a 5 Trooper here. That's huge. It should be like up to here, maximum height. It's supposed to be a small walker, and it's just, it looks huge. Which, I mean, the bigger it is, the more detail they can include. And a lot of people like that. But for me, that's just, I just don't like it. I just don't like. I wish that they would do a minifig scale ATRT, because I don't think they've really ever done a proper minifig scale ATRT. Something like this, just squish it down, squish, squish, squish. But there are a couple other scaling issues here. The head looks big from the front, however, in the back you can see that it's very, very skinny here. It's a little bit too wide in terms of going from left to right there in comparison to the width of the actual head here, the head of the ATRT. So that's a little bit of scaling issue. And then the biggest thing is this stud shooter on the front here. Now this is nice because you can maneuver it around. It's got a ball joint, so you can push it all around here and down, up, do whatever you want with it. However, it's too small, and you can also put a stud in it and fire off the stud if you wanted to. But it's just too tiny. It's, in fact, this is so small that it makes it, this thing sort of, the whole cannon situation is worse than the AAT's cannon, because the AAT's cannon was too long, and this one's too small. And I think that how small this is, it's worse than the AAT's cannon being long. I'd rather have this be longer than it needs to be than this be shorter than it needs to be. So there is that. However, putting aside the fact that this is way too big, it is really nice. I mean, there's great detailing with the feet here. You can give this a little bit of range of motion there. Just move it around on those joints there. And you can also move the toes up and down if you really wanted to. These are built on the sides too, these pieces here, so that's really nice, good technique. And the legs are also pretty nice. You can also move them around. It's a long range of motion. You can have him swing his leg in the back there. You can move this all around. There's a lot you can do with this. However, that's only in going in the back. And going in the front, this is as far as you can go forward. You can't really have it lean down or anything too much. And then this can't go any further. This can go a little bit further, like that. Now it's just falling forward. So, I don't know. It's got enough range of motion for me to be okay with it, but I wish it had a little bit more in the front. Now, these pieces really work really well for the joint sort of cover-ups, the caps or whatever, and then this looks really clean. I really like these two pieces being used together, and those are just stuck onto these sides there. And each leg is mirrored on each side. There are also stickers here. These are not prints, they are stickers. And looking at the actual head here, it is attached somewhat well, and I do like these flaps here in the front. You can like stretch them out all the way like that if you want. This also moves up and down, a little bit of motion there. You can move them all the way in this way. You can bring them back out, all the way out like that. You can push them all the way in like that. Now that looks too skinny, so I usually puff it out just a little bit more like that. And then in the back, you can also hold on to two things there. And there's the awkward binoculars there, and you can also clip on a blaster on the other clip there, so that's really nice. And the antennas, I don't really know exactly what these are called. The word's not in my mind right now, but you can move this all the way. Well, if you move this out of the way, you can probably move this all the way down. There we go. I can go all the way down, all the way up, which isn't necessarily a feature, but still something. And then there is a printed control there. And by the way, all these things here on the front is stickers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stickers, and then 2 on there makes 7 stickers on the ATRT. And then putting a minifigure on here is only attached by 2 studs, which I like. Let me just get him all set up. His hands positioned. And let's try and get him to sit properly here. Lean him forward a bit. Clip that on. There we go. Okay, that looks good. We got that working. And now, the best thing about this thing here is that if I go to bring him off, well, I'm not going to grab him by the helmet because his helmet's going to come off. If I pull him off here, this doesn't come along with them. And I know Ryan talked about this in his video, MNR Productions, but I just want to talk about it now. This clip is attached to the side, and how this is built is this clip is basically attached to all the way down here. It's not going to come off unless the entire head comes off. So if you're gripping it from about here, and you're pulling the figure off, there's no way that this thing's going to come off with it. And that's fantastic. And I also just want to mention that there's only 2 studs there, so it is easier to pull the trooper or whatever figure you have on there off easier. So that's just fantastic. That's why I think this thing's pretty good. Besides scaling, besides a few proportion stuff, I think this is really good. So what are my overall thoughts and opinions on this set? Well, I made an entire video talking about this set specifically, but that video is more so to do with drama and stuff related to this set in the LEGO community. But just as a set, for the value here, $30 US or 40 Canadian, I'm going to be talking Canadian here for a little bit of an example here, but that's a great price, because you get 3 identical 501st Troopers, another minifigure to add on to that, and then 2 battle droids on top of that, and 2 large vehicles here. Like, this thing's pretty big in hand. Like, it's not small. Like, as I was going on, this thing is pretty darn big. So that's a great price. I think that's more than fair, especially for getting 3 of these for army building. That's great. Like, here's where the Canadian conversion comes in. A regular older battle pack would cost $20 Canadian. This one's $40. Let's take the Sith Trooper one, for example. That came with 1 Sith Trooper. You'd have to spend 40 to get 2 Sith Troopers. With this one, you spend 40 to get 3 501st Troopers. That's already better than the Sith Trooper battle pack, although that one was kind of bad in the sense that you only got 1 of the trooper you wanted, but still. Also, like, just the size of vehicles here are just way better than those of normal battle packs. Like, if I bring the Sith Trooper Speeder over here, this thing's really small, and compared to all that, this thing's super small. This is not included in this set. Just wanted to clarify that. So these things are pretty big. Like, this is bigger than something that would be in a battle pack. This is much bigger than something that would be in a battle pack. This is going for like a $25 set with just this and a couple figures probably. I could see that, or maybe like a Droideka, kind of like the previous sort of ATRT 501st Walker that's been made before, the previous set. So the value is definitely there. Now, do I like the set? Well, I love the figures, but the builds, the bug speeder is cool and all, but it's just not accurate enough for me to like it, because I'm just, in the back of my head, I'm just thinking it's too big and it's got weird stuff on it, like the stud shooters on the front. But the ATRT looks displayable no matter what, although I am probably going to modify the cannon on the front just because I think that just looks so bad. It looks awful. I am also going to modify one of the cannons on the AAT. However, this is just worse than that. It's just not great. And I am going to buy more of this set because I want to create a 501st army. Like, not a monstrous army, not something like Bruce Swift would make, because I'm not that crazy about building armies. But I want to get 1 or 2 more of these at least, so I can have, like, what, 9 regular 501st Troopers, like 3 of these, and like 6 of these. I mean, that would be great. I mean, I'd have tons of stuff for mocks, and I can build Mandalore mocks and stuff for Clone Wars Season 7. And this set also goes really well with the AAT, which I already have multiple of. So it just works in conjunction with that one, and I just overall, I really like this set, and I want to buy more of this. And I recommend that you buy at least 1 of these, because this set's just too good to pass up on. Like, even if you're not a big Star Wars fan, like, these figures just look good nonetheless. So even if you don't know what they are, I mean, the 501st Trooper is just too cool. Like, yeah, so yeah, this is just my thoughts on it. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.